Hello cyclists, welcome! News from Amsterdam. There is a new generation of fantastic urban bikes. It's the Jordan and the Amsterdam Urban from Lekker. I really love Lekker bikes. As you probably know, maybe you've seen the review before, I will link it in the description. But every time I had the opportunity to ride or to test the Lekker bikes, it was a bit like coming home for me, because I really appreciate the Dutch lifestyle. I really love the Dutch way how bikes are seen as a part of everyday life, because classic Dutch bicycles, they are very classic, they are very comfortable, and they are very sturdy because there's a lot of cobblestone, and there has to be a very good quality, because if you cycle over cobblestone every day, nothing has to rattle and everything has to last a really long time. You do have a bicycle that's super comfortable, very sturdy, and now you would say probably also very heavy. Yes, the Jordan weighs 26 kilograms, but it's an e-bike, so it has a motor. And like both, as well as the Jordan as the Amsterdam Urban, they have Werbung middle motors. So they are very direct, because the moment you push the pedal, you directly torque to the motor. And the motor is the M200 with 65 Newton meters. That's quite a lot. But due to the torque sensor, it gives you a very agile feeling, and the 3 levels of pedal assist are well chosen, because I'd say for the first 2 pedal assist modes, they don't give you all the power. So with the first level of pedal assist, you almost feel like riding a regular bicycle, but with just a little support, which is super nice, because there are so many e-bikes on the market and they have strong motors, and the moment you just tip the pedal a little, you just feel like sitting on the rocket. That could be very cool if you're that kind of guy who wants a very sportive, very rockety e-bike, go for it. But in this case, for me, for the whole concept, it fits perfectly that the first levels of pedal assist are not super strong. But if you go into level 3, it's really, you feel the whole power of the motor. Even when you have to climb up hills, if there are inclines, super easy. Even when the wind is blowing, and it was like hectic over the last couple of weeks here, and it was just super easy with those 2 bicycles. So both the Jordan as well as the Amsterdam Urban have the middle motor, the Werbung M200, as I said, super strong and powerful, but due to the fact that the torque sensor is integrated, it feels very natural. So the moment you push the pedal more, you get more support. And of course, every e-bike comes with a battery. You get the full flexibility with those 2 beauties, because it is a battery that you can take out. And you do have 2 options. You can choose between a 300 and something watt-hours motor and a 504 watt-hours motor. The smaller version, I would say, gives you up to 60, maybe 80 kilometers, and the larger version up to 100, maybe 110 kilometers. Of course, this depends on how heavy you are, what level of pedal assist you choose, and how you cycle. So are there a lot of inclines? Is there a lot of wind you have to pedal against? So it's very individual, but just to give you a rough estimation how far you come, how the range is. Every e-bike, of course, has a little display, or at least a button where you can start the motor. And it's integrated here from Werbung. It's a little button you have to push, and there's a halo ring that gives you the information you need. So you see how the battery is loaded, and by pushing this little button, you can choose the different levels of pedal assistance, and the color of the ring shows you what pedal assist level you're in. Lekker brought the classic Dutch bike into nowadays, so it's a zeitgeist. And how did they do that? Besides electrifying the classic Dutch bicycle, it's also by choosing different accessories and parts. For example, the belt drive. They choose the Gates carbon belt drive, the CDX, And this is the best you can get at the moment, because Gates is a very sophisticated manufacturer with a long history. They produce a lot of belt drives for Harley-Davidson, for example. And belt drives for me are like the best option for commuter bikes, because they last up to 3 times longer than a chain. There's no grease, they don't need a lot of attention. So for approximately 30,000 kilometers, you do have a fuss-free way to cycle. And also super important are brakes, and Lekker to choose hydraulic disc brakes from Tektro. They are of high quality, and no matter how the weather conditions were, the bike stopped immediately. So I always felt super safe, because you do cycle 25, maybe 27, 28 kilometers, and that is like super fast, so you have to stop safely and promptly. Also super important is of course the lighting system, and like to choose high quality components. Spectacularly bright is the front light, and there is an integrated brake light in the back. Also super cool concerning innovation and what is possible nowadays with electric bikes. Also, as you can see, there are hardly any cables. That's because there is a gearing system with 3 gears, but it is an automatic gearing system. So as you know it from classic Dutch bikes, they usually have 3 gears, and here you just cycle. And then depending on the cadence and how much power you push into the pedal, you get into the next gear. And for me in the beginning it was a bit like getting used to it, and like what gear I am, what mode of level assist, but after a while I really got used to it, to the whole system. And I mean, how fast can you cycle in the city with all the fellow cyclists around you and all the stoplights? So for me, it was definitely enough. It was individual enough. There was just one thought I was thinking, because I know it from Enviolo Automatique, that you can choose your own gears. So when does the automatic system start shifting up or down gears? But I did check the Befang Go app, so you can indeed get more information with the app if you put your mobile phone on the handlebar, and you can have different settings, but I couldn't find how to individualize the gearing system. That's maybe something that can come in the future, who knows. To give you some more information about the Amsterdam Urban. The sitting position is also very upright, but it's a bit more sportive. As you can see, the frame geometry is different, but I thought also a perfect classic Dutch bike for men, I would mainly say. But for me, even though I prefer a very upright sitting position, I don't know why, but I felt more comfortable on the Amsterdam Urban. Every part and accessory Lekker to choose can be serviced by every bike shop, which is super cool, because nowadays there are so many bicycles on the market and it's quite difficult to find a proper service because they have no name accessories or parts. If you order the bikes online, they come like 95% assembled. And that is so easy, because you just have to put on the pedals and adjust the handlebar and off you go. The bikes also come like complete, because they come with fenders, they come with very sturdy kickstands. Super important, especially for the Jordan, because if you really use it as a cargo bike and you load it a lot, it's like super sturdy. Even today when it was very stormy, the bike didn't flip over. And also the Amsterdam comes with a very beautiful and very sturdy bike stand. If you fell in love with the Jordan, you can choose one frame size, and it's from 150 up to 190 centimeters. I'm in the middle, I'm at 175 centimeters, so it was perfect for me. But you can also adjust it. There's still more room to take out the saddle, and also the Amsterdam Urban can be individualized, because there's the possibility to adjust the stem, and of course the saddle is quite flexible. But there are 2 different frame sizes, and I really love it, because the smaller frame size goes up to 180 centimeters and starts around 160 centimeters, and the taller one goes up to 205 centimeters, and that's pretty cool, because for example here in Hamburg, like, the guys are super tall and it was always quite difficult for me when I still had my bike shop to sell proper bicycles to large people. And they're different frame colors. So the Jordan Urban comes in this olive green, Well, to be honest, I would say it's rather like minty or turquoise and a matte black. And the Amsterdam Urban comes in this beautiful matte black and also is available in an off-white, I would say. Also very important for me are the different parts, as I just said, not only the beautiful design, for example, of this little brake levers, but also that you do have ergo grips. So there is hardly any weight on the wrist due to the fact that you sit very upright. But still, it's very comfortable. There's more room and space for your wrists. And also the saddles are super comfortable. For me, where you can really see if manufacturers are really taking care of quality is when you do have a look at the pedals, at the tires and the kickstands. And the tires here are different. I love the color of the Jordan Urban. They are very broad. They give you a bit of suspension as well. The Amsterdam has the Schwalbe G1, and this is really big, has a bit more profile, and it also gives you a lot of suspension. The pedals are also different. I love the Werbung platform pedals from the Amsterdam Urban. They are really give you a lot of grip. So even when the weather is really horrible and your shoes are slippy, not with these pedals. If you have a closer look at the market, and if you're looking for a high quality bicycle that will accompany you for a decade or even longer, you will be surprised that these bikes costs only more or less 2,600 euros, depending on what accessories you choose and what size of battery you choose. There could be a bit of a price difference, but for me, absolutely a reasonable price. If you're interested in maybe testing a bicycle, check out the Lekker website, because there are different opportunities how to test ride the bikes, and you can also order the bikes online. And then they come 95% assembled. As I just said, just put on the pedals and adjust the handlebar. And if you're not happy, you can return them within 14 days. But for me, definitely a fantastic companion if you commute a lot, if you want a really cool alternative, a beautiful alternative for a car.